Welcome to the Minstrel Boy Tune Workshop. In this workshop, I'll be teaching you the Minstrel Boy note by note. The link is below to access all the lessons of this workshop, as well as my arrangement of the sheet music, which I like because I wrote it. So I wrote it the way I like to play it and sing it, so you can check out the sheet music there as well. Here in lesson 1, we're just doing a little chunk of music. Get comfortable with that, and then we'll move on to the next chunk. So we're going to start with no embellishments, and then we'll add those in just a moment or two. So that's the first little chunk we're going to do. I'll slow it down. We'll get the notes, and then we'll add in the embellishments. So starting on an introductory E note. So if you're brand new to the practice chanter, bottom finger is up. That's our low A position. Top hand are also our bottom finger. In this case, our ring finger is up. That's our E. A lot of bagpipe tunes will have an introductory E note. So there's our E. From E, we're going to drop down to low A, just by simply dropping that ring finger. So that's a pretty easy note transition for you. After that low A, we're going up one note in the scale up to the B by lifting up that ring finger on the bottom hand. So that's the low A up to the B. So here's what we have so far. Now from that B, we're going to go up to D. Little bit trickier transition. A lot more fingers on the move. B to D. So our pinky finger has to drop down, and all the other fingers of our bottom hand lift up, almost like you're doing this little turn with your wrist. So here's what we got so far. From that D, we're just going to walk down the scale all the way to low A. And if the scale is new to you, we're dropping down first the top finger to our C. Bottom finger is still on, so just the middle two fingers are up. From that C, we're going back to the B, so we're dropping down the next finger and lifting up the pinky finger. So we have the top two down, the bottom two up. That's our B note. And then we drop down to low A with that ring finger. So there's our low A. So all together, and then we'll add in some embellishments. One more time without embellishments. So hopefully you're getting the hang of that and getting the rhythm right too. I'll talk about where to tap your foot or where those downbeats are in the bar in a moment, but let's first tackle those embellishments. First embellishment I have in my arrangement of the sheet music, which again is in the link below with the workshop. First embellishment I have is a G grace note burl. So that's the first embellishment I have. It's a complicated one. You could easily simplify that. The simplest version would just be do a single finger tap with the pinky, or even a double tap. So that would be a single tap. That would be the double tap. The double tap has to be quick though. But if you are into burls or want to learn burls, a burl with the pinky finger, you're going to slide across the hole and then quickly pull that finger back up. And you want to be quick, so in order to make it quicker, that pinky finger can do a little bend as it comes back up, and that'll give you that sound of the burl, that doubled sound. And if your pinky's just not quite sliding enough, it could be you just need to work on building up that musculature of your pinky. Or I always had a pipe teacher that said get it greasy with some forehead grease or behind the ear grease, and that'll help that pinky slide. And as you hear with this burl, I'm putting a G grace note in front of it. And that grace note is happening with the note transition from the E down to the low A. So that top finger has to lift, then the ring finger comes down, and then the top finger comes down. And right after doing that, you're already going right into your burl. So there's not a big pause between the G grace note and the burl. So there's only one other embellishment to worry about, and then we'll talk about beats, downbeats in this first bar of the music. So the only other embellishment to worry about after that complicated burl is the complicated burl on the low A with that G grace note, we go up to the B, and then the G grace note up to the D. So from that B to D, we can do the G grace note. Now you want that G grace note to happen with the transition. You don't want to, which I'll tell you the finger movement to do that, but you don't want it to happen before like this. We don't want that. And we don't want it to happen after the note transition like this. We don't want that either. So what we're looking for is that grace note happens with the note transition. That's what we're looking for. So what's happening in slow motion, the top finger lifts, the bottom hand goes from B to D, all before that top finger comes back down again. So it doesn't sound right, but that's in slow motion, that's the order, the sequence of order that your fingers need to do. So until you're getting used to it, don't be afraid to make those G grace notes a little bit more open, or as I like to say, nice big fat G grace note. Make sure you get that G grace note happening with that transition from B to D. And that's all we have for embellishments. So let me play through that a couple times, this first bar that we've covered, and then I'll just talk quickly about downbeats here. So I'm not sure if you can hear my feet tapping the downbeats, but I hope so. But I've got it written in 4/4, so 4 beats in a bar. Not getting into too much music theory here, but 4 beats in a bar, and then we know the quarter note is getting the beat. So that's what the 4/4 is telling us. So our first note is a dotted quarter note. If you don't know what that means, no big deal. We're just playing that low A for 2 beats, and then we're transitioning to the B on the upbeat. So if we're tapping our foot, that low A, da, A, B, so the B is happening on the upbeat, or when our foot's in the air after that second tap. So if you're just, new to this, a real simple thing is to grab a purple marker or something, a purple pen, a pink pen, and draw just 2 little ticks over that low A, and that tells you, okay, if I'm playing with a metronome or if I'm trying to tap my foot, that low A gets 2 beats, and then the B is going to be on that beat. The next downbeat, the next tick you would put on your paper is on that D note where we have that G grace note. And then there's 4 beats in a bar, so the 4th beat in that bar, or the 4th little tick that you could draw, that tick is just where you tap your foot, will be on the second B, so the second last note in that bar. So if I tap my chanter here, you may not see my fingers quite so good, but if I tap my chanter with the beats, so I'll do that one more time, and hopefully you're hearing those downbeats and putting those ticks on the paper, 2 above the low A, 1 above the D, 1 above the B, second note from the end of that first bar. And I should say a bar of music is between 2 vertical lines, so that's a bar or a measure of music. And that's probably enough music theory for lesson 1. So there we go. We've done the notes, we've done the embellishments, we've done the rhythm, the beats. So you're all set on this first chunk of music. And again, click on the link below to find my sheet music, access all the lessons of the workshop, and I can't wait to see you in lesson 2. Until next time, happy piping!